Fruits Basket is not a simple romance anime where a girl and boy find each other in this cruel world. It evokes the most raw feeling among all the viewers, that is, everlasting love. As cliché as it sounds, the series handles serious matters regarding human emotions and how love can be both harmful yet pure. We first meet our protagonist Toru Honda, who is the most kind-hearted person to ever live. Despite not being accepted into other parts of her family, she still adored her mother who took care of her as a single parent. Toru is someone who has lived through her traumas, yet she does not let this hinder her kindness. So when her mother passes, she is left alone to live under a tent. Here is when we meet the two boys who were cursed to turn into their zodiac forms when embraced by the opposite gender. They are Yuki Soma and Kyo Soma. Yuki is the one cursed with the rat zodiac, and Kyo is cursed with the cat zodiac. The two of them have a rivalry that stems far from just their zodiac animals, and they have a strong hatred for each other for their upbringings. It was Yuki who found Toru living in such a horrible way and brought her into the house. This house is where everything starts. Throughout the series, we meet more members of the Soma clan who are also cursed with a zodiac. As a result of this curse, these children had experienced so much torment that leaves them scarred for a long time. That is until they meet Toru and sees their dark world filled with light once again. At first, Yuki and Toru seems like they are going to be the couple for the series. But as the series progresses, things change and feelings slowly get realized. Yuki realizes that his feelings for Toru is not romantic, rather his relationship with her is more of a mother and son. When he was younger, Yuki's mother was not very kind to him and he did not know the feeling of a mother's love. It was Toru who gave him the love he wanted, but he did not want anything more because he knows there is someone else that is out there for him. Yuki understands that he is not damaged goods and he is capable of being loved as well as loving another person. And so when he found the person that is meant to be with him, Yuki wanted to do the right thing for the both of them without sacrificing his own values. Kyo and Toru's relationship did not start out with romance either. It was through the small things that led them to realize each other's feelings for one another. It was the offering of comfort and kind words during difficult times that brought these two together. Their unconscious desire to seek out each other in dark times made them the perfect, imperfect couple. In addition to the romance, the series also teaches us about the bonds between people. The bond between the zodiacs were tainted once the curse started. The god who started the banquet had believed if the banquet continues forever, their bond will also be eternal. However, such a belief was questioned by the cat, and its death taught the god that nothing lasts forever. But this was realized too late, and generations of people in the Soma clan was harmed in the process, making them believe that their very being is a curse from God. When Toru came into the Soma's lives, she taught them the true meaning of unconditional love. It's not that everyone likes Toru because she is the main character, but rather she is a kind-hearted person who looks at them like human beings that has flaws and realizes that they have been hurt by their past trauma. She sees past their emotional trauma and understands both the good and bad found within each of them. The zodiacs have been victims within their own families, being mistreated and neglected by their own parents who were meant to protect them, and being pushed into the company of a confused child who also did not know what the true meaning of love made all of them lose hope. The god who reincarnated along with the zodiacs was someone who was meant to be loved, but she never received such a thing. She tries to get it through any means possible, even if it means abusing other members of the Soma clan and treating the zodiacs like they're just beneath her. Her misunderstanding of love also brought her into the life of Toru, who opened her eyes to her cruel actions. Although she may never be forgiven for her awful deeds, she wants to do better because she wants to move on from her past just like everyone else has. Toru's existence is the knife that cuts off the rope of curse that surrounds the zodiac, liberating everyone from their cruel destinies as well as the curse that binds them together. This curse was once the pure love of the god who wanted everyone to stay together. But this god failed to understand the morality of the animals who simply wanted to enjoy the life they had at that very moment. They understood that life will eventually come to an end, which is why they will always cherish the happy moments. As a being who has lived for a long time, God only saw his loneliness. Therefore, he failed to understand the zodiac's love for him. At the current time, the Soma clan was able to better grasp on what the bond truly is. But the bond is no longer about just being together. It had forced everyone to stay in spite of all the bad things that happened between them. This bond had become tainted with so much hatred and obsession that it had turned into a curse. As a result, the zodiacs can never rely on anyone because no one understands their pain and suffering. This changed when Toru came into their lives so unexpectedly. Teaching all of them the bond they had was indeed beautiful, but it was time they moved on. Too much has happened between them that they need time to heal from their wounds. Even though everyone is going a different way, it does not mean that they no longer care about one another. These memories will stay with them forever, and they will never forget the bond they had forged together. Now it is time for them to create new bonds and go into the world while embracing their fears. This is what makes Fruits Basket so much more than just a shoujo anime. It is not simply about the wrongdoings about one person, but rather how each person's choices affect one another. Such choices can lead to the creation of bonds, and whether these bonds last is up to each person that is involved. Even if some of us change, it does not mean everything is over, and one day we will most definitely all meet again.